Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. So I'm in the shop today for just a little bit this morning building raccoon snares. I thought I'd go ahead and invite y'all in and just show you just exactly how I build these things. While you're here though, if you would, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up, maybe hit that subscribe button. I mean, you're already there, so go ahead if you want. So to start with, for my raccoon snares, I use for the loop end of it, I use a piece of 7 by 7, 5/64 galvanized cable. I cut my loops to where they hang in almost a 6.5 to a 7-inch loop, which takes approximately 2 foot of this cable. And to start with, the first thing I do is once I get my cables cut, I just take a single ferrule, aluminum ferrule, slide it on the end of the cable, and take my BFH. And in case you don't know what a BFH is, it's a big frickin' hammer. I'll lay it here on the vise, on the anvil part of it. Give it about 3 good whacks to pinch that onto that cable. Then I take a 3/32 size cam lock. That's legal here in Iowa. I can use them here, so that's what I use. Now the biggest thing is I'm gonna try to get this on there. I don't know how well it'll show up. Just to save you a lot of headache and a lot of heartache going through this. These cams, you know, of course they move. They're a mechanical lock. I want the loop here, not the cam, but the loop facing me when I put the cable through the hole down here, okay? That's gonna save you some headache. Just trust me, promise you. Then I feed the cable through the loop end of the cam lock. Then I don't get crazy about it. I just take my finger and my thumb, and I grab that single ferrule, and I bend it straight down onto itself. And that lets that loop hang perfect. Test it, make sure that you've got the lock going the right way. It'll only go one way. It cannot go, if you put it on backwards, it will not slide. Okay, so now that we've got that, then I take a piece of, just a small piece, and I believe it's 1/4 inch inside diameter tubing. This is going to be my support collar for my support wire, and I just slide it on there just like so. You got to have some way to support these snares. This is one of the best ways I've found. Now you can buy the actual whammies, they call them. They're a coiled up piece of wire, and you can buy those, or you can buy the spring type whammies. If you're using the spring type and you get along with them, good for you. I can't get along with them at all. So I either use the metal whammies, which I haven't for a long time now, and I mean a long time. I've just went to using this poly hose. Works a whole lot better for me. It's a whole lot better in cold weather. I will caution you, if you are in extreme cold, to go ahead and buy it in the black. Buy the black gas line. You'll get along a lot better because it absorbs heat, stretches a little bit enough to get that number 9 wire on there, or 1/4 inch rod, or whatever you're using as a support. So there's just a little bit of a little tip for you. Okay, so once we get our loop started here constructed, then we take a double ferrule and I slide it on there, and then I take one of these 2/0 600-pound test Roscoe crane swivel. Now that's very important. You have to know that it is a Roscoe crane swivel. And if you Google it, look them up online, you can find these relatively cheap. They're about $30 a hundred. Pretty cheap deal. I personally have never had one of these fail me yet. I do know a fella that had one fail last winter on him, but when we got to inspecting it, we got the coyote back. And once we got to inspecting it, the swivel, there was a manufactured crack in the barrel of it. Allowed just enough flex for that thing to blow apart and cut out across country and cut for Tulsa. And the dog hunters actually caught the coyote and brought it back to us. So, but I myself personally have never had one of these fail. Coyotes, coons, bobcat, fox, beaver, you name it, I've snared them with it. It's little, it's light, it's not up here in the animal's face like a big old number 9 swivel. So I really recommend that you use these, and they're a heck of a deal. They really are. So slide one end of it onto the cable with the ferrule, then double the cable over and slide it back through the other side of the ferrule. Cinch it down tight. Again, we pick up our BFH. Be very careful to not hit that swivel if you can help it. I just hang it over the side there. About 3 or 4 hits there with the hammer. And that's all there is to that part of it. Now, I take a piece of approximately 2.5 foot long, 7x7, 3/32. This is going to be the tail of my snare. This is really simple too. I just take a double ferrule, slide it on the end of the cable, slide the other end of the swivel onto the cable, double it back over, push it through the other side of the ferrule, slide it down. Again, hang that swivel off the edge of the anvil here so that I don't hit it. 2 or 3 hits, and it's on there secure. And I take another double ferrule, 3/32 size, slide it on the end of my 3/32 cable, give myself a little bit of a loop there that I can attach my disposable stake to, or hook it onto a kill pole, or just whatever I need to do, or how I'm going to do it. Lay it on the anvil, and there's that part of it. Okay, all except for adding a deer stop, which we will do here in a minute, and loading this cable. The snare is almost complete, so we'll jump over into that section of it here just right now. Okay, I needed to reposition the camera just so that you could see just exactly what I'm doing here. Here in Iowa, we are required to run a deer stop on our snares. The loop can't close any smaller than a snuff can, a chewing tobacco can, which is approximately, I think, 2.5 inches. So I take a deer stop and I put it on right there at the lock. And then I just take my adjustable wrench here, my slip joint pliers, and pinch that baby on. And that way my lock cannot go any smaller than 2.5 inches. Okay, so then the next thing I do is load the snare. And I've got a piece of, I believe it's 3/4 inch outside diameter pipe here inside the vise. And the way I do that, I just want to load about the first 6 inches of cable. I just grab a hold of it, make sure that the cable's laying flat. You want to make sure that your lock, everything is laying in line and flat. And then run that across that cable a couple times. Now, this is something that I just do. It's not required. You don't have to do it. But I turn the loop over and I do the same on the other side between the deer stop and the lock. And what that does, it lets that loop hang in a more perfect circle, in my opinion, instead of the teardrop. I like it hanging in a more circle type. Now what that does when you load this cable, in fact, it can stand it just a little bit more, not much. When you load this cable, it speeds it up. It speeds that cable up, and it makes that lock fire a lot faster and a lot smoother. So I highly recommend you load your snares. Guys, that's pretty much it for snare building. It's not real complicated. It's pretty fast and pretty simple. If you enjoyed this video, if you liked it, please go ahead and click on one of my other ones and see what I might have to offer for you. Once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one, signing out. Hey, I wanted to add into this video too that I build all my snares identically, exactly the same, other than just different lengths. Coyote snares, I run them 6 feet long. Beaver snares are 10 feet. So you'll have to play with your cable lengths. Usually to hang an 8.5 to a 9-inch loop, it takes about 3 foot of 5/64 cable. And then I just come out from there with my swivel and then go on with the tail of the snare. So I just wanted to put that in here. Appreciate y'all watching. Thanks a bunch.